Environmental Risk Assessment for Construction Site Part 3. Today, 12 February 2026, 3 p.m. live. So, yesterday we have seen Part 2, then before Part 1. So, here the Environmental Risk Assessments Part 3. Yes, we have seen Part 1, Part 2, now 3. This part 1, part 2 is available in HSE Mindset channels live videos. When you go, then the part 1, part 2 available. Then now we are going to see the part 3. You can watch all 3 parts. You can get a good idea about the environmental risk assessments for construction site. So, we have seen in the part 1 about what is environmental risk assessments, the steps of the risk assessments, environmental risk assessment. Then yesterday, how the environmental aspects and hazards and control measures we have seen, and the legislation for environmental legislation. What are the legislation for environmental risk assessments and environmental control measures? So now we have environmental risk assessments construction site part 3. So what we are going to see today, the sample of environmental risk assessments. When you give environmental risk assessments, how you are going to do that one. So, how you can yourself process the environmental risk assessments. So, being a safety professional or HSE professional or environmental professional, this is basic for construction sites. So, when somebody is asking you to do the risk assessments, it means the environmental risk assessments. So this environmental risk assessments is a major part when you are independently doing the HSE roles, HSE in charge. So being a safety HSE or environmental professional, you have to know it. So here how the samples for the construction site. Here the activity, aspect, impact, risk, and then risk level. It means risk level controls. So this is the table column. Activities, what is environmental aspect, what is environmental impact, what will be the risk level, and what will be the controls. I hope you are seeing that where usually activity is fuel storage is an activity. Then excavation is an activity. Then concrete works is an activity. So this is for construction industries activities. So fuel storage means what will be the environmental aspect, what will be the environmental impact, and whether the risk is high, low or medium. Then what will be the control risk here? The fuel storage, oil leakage is the environmental aspect. You see, when the construction site, the oil may be spilled here and there because of vehicles movement or oil storage or oil distribution site. So that time, oil leakage will happen. This is the environmental aspect for that construction site. Then what will be the impact? The soil contamination. The impact is soil contamination. Then what will be the risk level? It is high. How you will calculate? The risk level is calculated by means of the risk, high risk. So if it's a red, high, yellow, medium, then green, low. So, red, yellow. So, high, medium, low risk levels. It means high level environmental risk is there, means once it's mixed with the soil contamination, eliminating and removing, controlling is the big difficult task. And once it's soil contaminated, then microbes are affected, life cycles affected, water will be affected, soil fertility will be affected. So flora means plants, fauna means animals. So flora, fauna of soil gets affected. Because of this high level affected, we are calling high. It means risk is high. Then what will be the controls? Bunding, still kits. You have to bunding, you have to make it some concrete instead of direct soil. Put the bunding, and also you can directly use the oil to the tank. Then spill kits. Keep ready for oil spill kits. This oil spill kits immediately absorb the oil from the soil. So sawdust, sometimes they use oil spillage kit. It's available in the market. So keep ready for oil spillage kit. This kit will absorb the oil as maximum as. So the control measures is bunding and spill kits. Then second one is excavation. The excavation, during the excavation in the construction site, there is a dust. So dust is also one of the activity. The excavation is the activity, dust is environmental aspect. Then what will be the environmental impact? The environmental impact will be air pollution. Environmental impact will be air pollution. So dust is aspect. Then you have a environmental air pollution is the impact. So excavation is the activity, the aspect is the dust, then impact is air pollution, then its a risk level is medium. Then what will be the control measures? Water spraying. When you spray the water, it will reduce the dust level, and it will one of the controlling the environmental air pollutions. So normally in the construction site, the dust and particulate matters are high. For that case, what they will do, they will spray the water. So by spraying the water in the construction site, dust will be minimized. So that's what the control measures. Then you have a concrete works. During the concrete works, what will be the environmental aspect? What will be the environmental impact? The environmental aspect is slurry discharge. Environmental is during the concrete work, the slurry discharge is the aspect. Then what will be the impact? Water pollution is the impact. The risk level is high. Then what will be the control? You have to wash out pits. Using the wash out pits, small wash out pits, and they collect into this waste water and making sedimentation. So that is the one of the control measures. So here what we are seeing, sample of environmental risk assessments. In this environmental risk assessments, what we are seeing, the activity, environmental aspect, environmental impact, the risk level, and the controls. What will be the controls? So the fuel storage is the activity, the oil leakage is environmental aspect in the construction site, and impact, soil contamination is an impact, and risk level is high. Because it's a soil contaminated, flora, fauna, microbes and water gets affected. That's why here high risk level. Then what will be the control? Bunting, and you have a spillage kits. Normally wherever the oil are used, they will have a spillage kit. The spill kits they will keep ready in case of spilled somewhere, immediately observe through the spill kits. So that is the thing. So here excavation, then concrete works. For all this, what is environmental aspect, what will be the environmental impact, what will be the risk, what will be the controls. So this is what we have seen the sample of environmental risk assessment. Then why this environmental risk assessment is critical on construction site. The next one is why the environmental risk assessment is critical on construction. Why should we have to do the environmental risk assessment for construction site? There are lot of procedures are there. There are lot of HSE or environmental things are there. But how this ERA, that is environmental risk assessment, is important. Here, number one, it's to prevent environmental damage. So, when you are using the environmental risk assessment for construction site, it's to totally prevent the environmental damage. What environmental damage? It will prevent the construction site soil damage, water damage, air damage. So these all will be prevented. Flora, fauna damage will be prevented. So all the environmental conditions keep it intact, not damaged. So that is the one main thing to prevent the environmental damage. That's why we have a environmental risk assessments. Then avoid fines and legal actions. So when you are not following the environmental rules and regulations, local or national or local level, then there will be a fine and legal action against the company where you are a company. So for that company, if they are already having the environmental risk assessment, they are preventing the environmental pollution, they are keeping the standards, the reference standard, what the legislation telling, the same standard, noise level, soil level, air level. So these all that standard, once they are maintaining means they will avoid the fines and the legal action from the legal authorities of country or state or corporation. Then once it will improve the reputation. Once you are following the environmental standards, following the proper environmental risk assessments and environmental standards, you are protecting the environment, means the company's reputation will go up. Even you are doing the construction, all your shareholders, all your contract companies or your clients happy about you, about you are saving the environment, and you have a big reputation, and you will get a good remarks, and they will appreciate you and always business with you. So that is the case here for environmental risk assessments. It will improve the reputation. Then ensure sustainable projects. Sustainable projects means the projects from first day to the last day, the sustainability is there. The maintaining the environment as it is, not damaging anything, not damaging reputation, not damaging the project cost, they are not damaging the environment. It means the sustainable projects, keeping the projects intact from the first day to last day. So that's why sustainable projects, ensuring the sustainable projects. And the last one, protect workers and communities. So, when you are following the environmental risk assessments, following the environmental standards, air, water, land, noise, everything, so you are protecting the workers, those who are working under that construction site. So, if the air pollution is there, definitely they have a, pollution issues, they have lung issues. They have trouble to breathe or lung disease will come. And also, in case of noise means some ear issue will come. Then soil contamination means water contaminated means not good water or contamination issues will come. So, by following the environmental risk assessments, you are protecting the workers and also communities. So the nearby there are communities are living. So when you are following the standards of environmental risk assessments of air, water, land, nearby communities are happy. You are following without any problem. You are doing the construction work without any environmental issues. You are doing means nearby communities also happy and they will not complaining. So that is the one of the major thing you have to think. So the environmental risk assessment is a critical on construction sites. It's a preventing the environmental damage, avoiding the fines and legal actions, improve reputation, ensuring the sustainable projects and protect workers and communities. So these are the major benefits of the environmental risk assessments. That's why environmental risk assessment is very critical for construction sites. So when you are following the environmental risk assessments, what you have to know it, what is the activity or what are the activity, and then what will be the environmental aspect, what will be the environmental impact, then what will be the risk, and what are the controls. So these all the things you must know it. When you know it, you can yourself do it this environmental risk assessment without any help from anyone. So you have to find out. Okay? So how you can find out? So this is construction site. In this construction site, what you have to do? You have to make it air, water, then land, then soil, noise. So these all the things you have to see. So what will be the activities? Then what will be the aspect, environmental aspect? Then what will be the impact? Then what will be the risk level? Then what will be the control? So air means you have to see dust, fumes, hazardous gas, compressor cylinder gases. So this welding activity or gasketing activity or excavation. So these are activities in the construction site. Then you have to find out what will be the aspect, what will be the impact, what will be the risk level, what will be the controls. So, in case of gasketing, then what will be the environmental aspect? So, fumes. Then what will be the impact? Impact air pollution. Then what will be the risk? Risk level is medium because it's a very minor fumes. That's why it's a medium, M. Then what would be the control measures? So, okay, wearing the mask and also the in an open place and giving the break and doing the work in a remote areas and making a barricade around the area. So these are control measures. Same thing, water. Same thing for land. Same thing for soil. Same thing for noise. So noise means, for example, I am telling, if the noise demolition activity is a activity in construction site. Then in that side, what will be the aspect, what will be the impact? The environmental aspect will be the dust. So, during demolition, dust will become. Then here again air pollution. Then what will be the high level? Because high dust will come. Control measures, spraying the water and barricade. Spraying the water and barricade. Same thing for water. The concrete work and painting work or cleaning work. These all. Then you have to find out environmental aspect, environmental impact, the risk level, controls. The land also, hazardous materials when you are throwing the waste in the land, and also the aspect means what will be the aspect, what will be the impact, then risk level, high or low or medium, then control measures. So these are the things you have to find out for your construction site. When you are finding this one for a construction site, then only you will come to know what will be the environmental aspect impact register. This is called environmental aspect impact register. In this register, activity, you have to mention the activity: welding, grinding, cutting, the forklift operation, crane operations, heavy vehicles operations. So, demolition work, excavation work. So, these all comes activities. So, in that activities, so here the activities will come first. Then what will be the environmental aspect? What will be the environmental impact? What will be the risk level? High, low, medium, then control measures. What will be the control? So you have to table it. So if the risk level is high, you have to make a recommendation how to control the high risk levels. Recommendation means long-term recommendation during the project stage. Whether the wastewater is highly hazardous means how you are going to handle. So you have to send it to third party for disposal of wastewater. The same thing here, all the activities in your construction site, you have to table it. In that activities, what will be the environmental aspect, what will be the environmental impact, what will be the risk level, high, low, medium, then controls. This tabulation is very important. So that's called the environmental risk assessment. This environmental risk assessments you have to be produce and make ready for auditing, for legal thing, for any client or your legal auditing time, you have to show it to them. When you are, keep ready this environmental risk assessment yourself, then only you don't have any legal issues, any issues will not come. Because when you don't have environmental risk assessments, there are a lot of issues. As I said, it will spoil reputation and a legal issue will come. Then during the audit, you will be questioned. So here the environmental risk assessment for construction site is very, very important. As in health and safety, we are talking about the risk assessment, general risk assessments, hazard risk. Here we are talking about aspect impact. You have to know it. What is the difference between the health and safety risk assessment and the environmental risk assessment. The health and safety risk assessment deals with the hazard and risk. Here the environmental risk assessment deals about the activity, environmental aspect, environmental impact. So here the aspect impact is the matter, there the hazard and risk is the matter. So that you have to differentiate. So here we have seen the sample and how to do it. Even yourself you can do it. What all you have to first list out the activities in your construction site. What all activities, then you have to find out what will be the environmental aspect, then what will be the environmental impact, then what will be the risk level, and what will be the control measures. That's what we are talking. Environmental risk assessments. Part 3. So that is the end of the part 3. We have seen in the environmental risk assessment part 1, part 2, now part 3. So that is the end of the environmental risk assessment for construction site. So still you knew, you didn't watch the part 1, part 2, go to the live session HC Mindset channel, and then part 1, part 2 available. Now part 3 also here. Just go through everything. Definitely you have a very good idea about the environmental risk assessments. So thanks for watching, and also still you didn't subscribe it, share it, like it, and support the HSE Mindset channel for all the HSE updates and informations. Tomorrow also we have environmental risk controls live sessions are there for 3 o'clock. You just free to join for that live session of environmental risk controls part 1 tomorrow 3 o'clock. So thank you very much for watching. So go through all the environmental risk assessment parts. Thank you.